Welcome back to CFB Nation. I am your host, Nino Brown, and I got my guy with me, Mr. Get It Done, aka D Now. And when you see us on the screen, you know the deal. It's Devy Dollins. How we doing, my man?
Not too bad. It's one of those crazy days in sports where every major sport is going on right now. With pro days for the NFL, opening day, March Madness. The draft's a month away, so I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to talk about this gentleman, though.
Yeah, I've been a fan since the Elite 11s. We'll get into that a little bit, but he's one of those kids that kind of like you coming from Texas, first of all, so you obviously got it, right? You know what I mean? And I don't know, it just seems like people kind of let him scoot under the radar, and now he's playing home Texas ball, and we've seen a little bit, and I was hoping to see a little more, and we'll break that down as we get into it. But as you can't tell, it's Josh Hoover, TCU QB, but we're gonna go back and where it all started. 6'1", 196 pounds. Like I said, he's out of Texas, Rockwell, Texas. He was the 41st QB in this class, and you know how I am about those rankings, Dino. I don't trust them with the dawn, but he went to Rockwell High School. He was a two-sport athlete. He played football and baseball. Listen, nothing crazy, but he was ranked 500th in the country at baseball, right? He had 87 mile an hour fastball. He was a right-handed pitcher. He also played first base, third base, catcher, and middle infield. So there's a couple things that I thought were interesting. What else you got for me?
Yeah, so his sophomore year, he was first team all district, District 10, 6A. He was the offensive MVP his junior year. He, like you said, was an Elite 11 quarterback. In 2021, he was the Landry Award winner, which is the top high school player in Northern Texas. So that's pretty impressive.
Exactly.
And in 23, he was a first team academic all Big 12 and a honorable mention Big 12 freshman of the year.
Yeah,
So not too shabby.
No, not at all. I got a couple accolades under his belt already as a young man. Listen, like I've always been told, if you can hang in Texas and you can put up numbers in Texas, then they say the big dogs come from Texas, Cali, and Florida, right? That's where all the big dogs pretty much come from. So he's one of those boys, and I think he's gonna have a chance if he's healthy to ball out this season. But Rockwell High School, man, I mean, senior year he was close to 64% completion. He had 191 completions out of 300 attempts, almost 3,300 yards and 40 touchdowns. Now, these are some gaudy numbers in his career, okay? 4 years of starting varsity, 60.7% completion, almost 10,000 yards, and 108 touchdowns, I mean, that's just stupid numbers in Texas.
In Texas, yeah. Always got to add that in there, in Texas.
Like, I mean, those numbers in Massachusetts, he might get noticed, right? And then you're doing it with the big boys, right? 6A, man, I noticed, I think it's what, a couple more, two or three more?
I think that maybe a couple down from the highest, but still.
Yeah, it's above the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and the kid was balling. So I'm a fan of it. I just like his game. But talk to me about did he get flooded with offers, or was a few here and there? What was the deal?
So yeah, after his great career, he had 20 offers.
Right.
Almost every Texas school wanted him, obviously minus Texas, but
right.
TCU, UTSA, SMU, Houston. He had Tulane. He had UMass, your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch other.
All right. Well, he ultimately, obviously, committed to TCU.
Right.
22 red shirt, obviously, red shirt freshman. But last year, he got to start in 6 games. He ended up with 2,206 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions over the course of the whole season, 62.1% completion. He threw the ball, in his first season, really, as the guy, he threw the ball almost 300 times. You know what I mean? He completed 185 passes for 298 attempts. But listen, he got sacked 8 times, so it means he's kind of elusive in that aspect. He had 13 big-time throws, but he did have 12 turnover-worthy plays. I don't like those numbers being as close as they are. I usually like to see that, more than doubled the opposite direction. But his ADOT was right around 9. So, I mean, he wasn't Captain Duncan Dink. He was able to spray the ball around the field. Talk to me about, those 6 total starts that he had this season.
Yeah, so, I mean, I want to preface what I say. TCU kind of let down their fan base where the expectations were.
Right.
So, I mean, the 13-12, it is what it is with when you look at the grand scheme of things for TCU. But his 6 total starts. His first start was versus BYU. He was 37 for 58, which is 63.8%. He threw for 439 yards in his first start.
Yeah,
4 touchdowns. Like, I mean,
58 attempts, and
yeah, like
what?
for a redshirt freshman to trust him to go out there and sling it almost 60 times, like,
you think that was the game plan? There's no way that was the game plan.
No way. Their run game wasn't very good this year, so I feel like TCU was just like, hey, you're young, your arm will rebound, go throw the rock.
Oh man.
So then his next start was against number 7 Texas at that point. A little bit fewer attempts. He went 34 for 36, so 66%. But again, over 300 yards. Right. He had 302 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. The week after, Baylor, he was 24 for 29. So that jumped from 66% up to almost 83% completion. But again, 400 some yards, 412 yards, it says, and 2 touchdowns. And then, so his month of November was just ridiculous because right before Thanksgiving, he played Oklahoma at the time. He was 32 for 58. So his number dropped a little bit. It was 55%, but still 344 yards, 4 touchdowns. So against Texas and Oklahoma, he had 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions and almost 700 yards. Like, that's not too shabby for a redshirt freshman.
That's in a month's time, to start the month and end the month. He threw for almost 60 attempts. Like, this is ridiculous. It's crazy what they let the kid do it. Hey, and he had no problem doing it. So what I saw, big on, has no problem chucking the thing around, right? He can spray the ball all over the field. You want to go down the sideline, he can do that. You want to throw that, cross route, he can do that. A short intermediate ball, he's got that. You want to, he got good placement. He can put the ball wherever he wants to. He's not like, he ain't going to take it off and go for like 400 or 500 yards in the season, but he's got like good mobility and he can do those off-platform throws. And my man's got, a quick release. I kind of started to notice as the season got on, he was getting the ball out quick. Again, 8 times stacked.
That infield, you got to release it.
That pitching, got that pitching style to him. But like I said, only got sacked 8 times. So the mobility factor, the quick release, it was visible.
Yeah.
So what did you see?
So what I noticed was you kind of hit on it too with the good ball placement. His touch on those placements. It's upperclassman level for only being a redshirt freshman. Another one is he hits his wide receivers in stride. He kind of knows what they're going to do before they do it, which is impressive for such a young age. Those bucket throws.
Yeah.
He made a couple of those throws. You were like, are you sure this kid's a redshirt freshman? Like, he's been doing this for a little bit. And one thing I noticed, again, against Texas, Oklahoma, those big name schools, he didn't let the moment get too big for him. He kept his composure, which, again, for a 19-year-old, like, that's pretty impressive. And as the more he plays, if he's able to play, it'll only get better.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, those are 2 big games. Baylor's not no like pushover either. So those are big games that he played in. And the kid, like you said, cool as cucumber, had no problem. Just sit in the pocket, go through his progressions, do what he's got to do, try to lead his team. Now, he did get an injury in spring, which sucks. But they're saying he should be good to go and take over the role by summertime. So I'm cool with that, which means I don't think there'll be a hiccup in it. You know what I mean? I want to see the next step, right? I want to see him kind of just, he does go through progressions, but I want to see him go through them all. It seems as though the wide receivers are hyped up this year and gassed up. You're seeing, Savion out there making these one-handed catches and stuff, and guys are doing things, but you're also playing in spandex with padded helmets. So they take it for what it is. He's recovering, just in the playbook, which, hey, could let the fire run through him. Exactly. And now he's going to be able to like kind of dial in a little bit more. So we'll have to wait and see. But we're to that aspect of the show where it's player comps. You're freshly back. This is your second show. So I'm going to let you go off the rip first.
Yeah. So we were in the green room talking about this a little bit. and I might have thrown you a curveball with this one, pun intended. But my comp is Russell Wilson. I think it comes back to that baseball background. You kind of see it in his play style, the
Yes.
different levels of the arm throw that he can have.
Mhm.
You did say he's not that. He doesn't run. You said
Right.
he had 20 total yards, but I don't think he can't run. Much like how Russell was early in his career, he had that solid O line up in Seattle, so he didn't really have to run. It was further at his time in Seattle when he actually started having to run because that line was terrible. But early in Jordan's or Josh's career, that's my comp.
All right. I mean, what's Russ? 5'11"?
Yeah,
What
5'11", maybe 6 foot
one
on a good
skull.
day.
Yeah, they're right. They're right around this, the same. I think you might have. I think Russ might get a little bit of pounds on him. He's kind of fluctuated
Yeah,
over the years here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I could see it. Like I said, like the only thing I don't see is the mobility. Maybe it's like because he hasn't had to do it. You know what I'm saying? He did have 2 rushing touchdowns, so like he doesn't have a problem doing it if it's necessities. Like I said,
right.
he's mobile enough to extend plays, get out of the pocket, and make throws. Um, you mentioned that weird sidearm throw and like how he kind of like will roll left but then turn right, like stuff like that gives me Gardner Minshew vibes. The weird throws, the off-platform stuff, but the all-around body of work. I just kind of see. Maybe it's because it's new. Jordan Love. I kind of see another, like Jordan Love, kind of the way he can throw the ball downfield, the way he can go through the progression, cool as a cucumber. I mean, Jordan Love was Joe Cool all year. I mean, he
Oh
was
yeah,
getting attacked and he had no problem with it. So I think it's kind of like a mesh. If you took like pieces of both guys and put them together, that would be my comp for Hoover. I really hope the kid can get healthy because it's kind of up in the air right now, right? You had 2 of the
yeah,
big dogs leave your conference, yeah. So the conference
yeah.
is kind
Big
of
12's up for grabs, and a year of TCU finally meshing, I think. And if Josh Hoover can, again, if he's fully healthy, they may surprise some people because I think a lot of people are going to think TCU's kind of back down where they finished last year. So
they lost a lot of people. They forget
yeah,
about that. You lost a lot of
right.
offensive people. You lost a lot of defensive people. Um, And now I'm a Savion guy, but he kind of didn't really take that step. I thought he would come in and fill in, for Q, and he didn't. But maybe another year. Now he
Yeah.
had he's got a rapport with this QB, and I love to go and see. I would, they also lost, coaches from
Yeah.
that coaching year as well, so that played a major factor in it. But now that they're getting things going, the ball rolling, we'll have to wait and see. But I love this episode. I love your comp. I think we'll have to revisit this maybe at the end of the year and see
Yeah.
where he's at and how he's gone. But this is why we believe he has the potential to be a Devy Darlin and be that guy for the future. I do believe he has NFL potential.
Yeah.
This year will kind of be that kind of flag stick year for him. We'll
Hmm.
measuring stick, see where he's at with this class and where he could be. But he's definitely better than 40 in this class. That's
Oh,
for sure.
100%.
And once again, Mr. AKA is to get it done. Dino, I'm Nino Brown. This has been Devy Dollins. We out.